Hello, boys and girls. I'm Miss Buster from the Oak Cliff Boys and Girl Club, and I want to share with you some good readers' habit because I want to encourage you also to continue to read throughout the summer because reading is essential. So I want you to develop even more so good reading habits. So here's some ideas what good reading habits are. Good reading habits are when you read, you look it up. Guess what? Guess unfamiliar words. And then once you guess that unfamiliar word, look that word up. Picture it. Picture what you're reading. If you're reading a magazine or if you're reading a novel, picture a picture in your mind of what you're reading about. Next, use your brain power. In other words, think what could happen in the next chapter or on the next page without even turning the page. Think what we call info skills, where you think ahead what's going to happen next. Connect to what you're reading. Connect in real life situations. Maybe you can connect the story or what you read about the character to someone that you know, someone you're familiar with, your family member or a friend. Make some connection in your reading. Set a goal. What does that mean, Miss Buster? That means if you are reading a novel or you're reading a book that's not separated into chapters, determine how much you're going to read. Use a bookmark to mark where you stop and then pick up on the next reading. Set a goal. I'm going to read for 30 minutes or I'm going to read for 45 minutes. Set a goal every day to read. Also, good reading habits is sound it out. When you're reading, read with a loud voice or read with a whispering voice. But read about that character. In fact, become that character. Use that voice, that character that you think that character is speaking. How that character may be speaking in that story or in that particular reading. Sum it up. Talk about what you've read. Talk about with a friend. Talk about with a family member. Talk about your reading, what you just read. Then write about it. Write it down. Write short, brief notes about what you just read. That gives you opportunities to go back and reiterate what you just read. It builds great reading skills. And make it a habit to read everything around you, whether it be reading something on a label or reading a stop sign or reading a billboard. Read everything around. It builds the reading skills. And another thing I would like to share with you as you become good readers, begin to develop good reading habits, is use a strategy in reading. One good strategy that I can share with you today is what we call the plot strategy. What is a plot strategy? Plot strategy is when you're reading a story, you think to your mind what is going on. Every story begins, every book begins with a beginning. So you start with what we call exposition. In exposition, this is where your main characters and the beginning of your story starts. It's sort of like building a roller coaster, so to speak, or building a mountain and then the mountain descends. First part of it is exposition. It's in that part, as I stated, is the beginning of the story. It's the setting of the story, where the story is setting. Then, as you read on, the next strategy we would call rise in action. The rise in action tells us the events of the story. What comes first, second, next in the story. It is the place where you're headed to the climax or where the conflicts are found. Then, as you read on, you will come to what we call the climax of a story. That is the building point. And also, that is the turning point. What's happening in the story? The climax gives us the main character problem, how they're facing a problem. And then, as you notice, the story begins to what we call fall in action. The fall in action tells us when the story actually is turning around and begin to change and is on its way to the resolution of the story, of the problem in the story. The fall in action tells us what happened immediately after the climax. What was the turning point is what we call the fall in actions. Why? Because it's on its way to the resolution of the story. Keep those kind of things in our mind as we read it. And then last but not least is what we call the resolution. It is what happens at the very end of the story. How the story ended. How was the problem solved? How the problem resolved in the story. Those are kind of things helps us to be good readers and to build good reading habits. Keep those things in mind as you read each day. Reading is essential. And another I want to share with you is our math. Keep your math going during the summer. There are 4 basic math operations that we deal from day to day. And we see a lot of these operations in word problems. So I want to share with you today problem solving keywords. Problem solving keywords. You will always see a lot of problems. Most of my math are in these 4 operations will always come in a word problems. But don't be afraid, don't get nervous. Once we learn keywords to help us solve word problems, you'll be good to go. So our 4 operations of math here is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Let's look at some of the words that help us to identify when we have a word problem. Some of the words that gives us the clue or hint that we should be adding is words such as some, words such as more, words such as increase, words such as combined together, perimeters, all together, total of something, adding. Those are key words that we can use, that when we see them in word problem, know that it's time to add. Subtraction words. Here are some key words for subtraction in word problem. Differences. Differences tell me I must subtract. Words such as take away, fewer, minus, subtract, reduce by, decrease by, less than. Those are subtraction words. Left over, subtraction words. Decrease by, subtraction word. Multiplication. Let's look at multiplication, operational multiplication. Keywords that help us solve word problems. In multiplication, we look for words such as products. What is the product? What is the array? Times, each. Words such as factor, multiply, multiply by. Words such as total, products of, in all, group of, equal groups. Those words helps us to define that we need to multiply. Let's look at some words that says division. Division, words such as half, share equally, separate. Those are dividing words. Cut up, distribute evenly. That means I need to divide. Split, equal pieces, average. Those are key words for division. So our basic word problems are defined by the four basic math, which is addition, subtraction, multiplication, as well as division. Now, in viewing that, I want to see how much you listened and heard what I just said, and let's work a problem together. Here's the problem, and I want you to read. We're going to read the problem together, and then we're going to determine which of the 4 operations was used in this problem. And the problem reads such as, Craig has a $20 bill. He buys 6 squirt guns for $2 each. Question, how much money did Craig have left over? Sometimes we have to read our problem twice to get the gist of it to understand. Let's read it again. Craig has a $20 bill. He buys 6 squirt guns for $2 each. Question, how much money did Craig have left? I'm going to give you 1 minute to answer the question by using one of the 4 operations. Do I use addition? Do I use multiplication? Do I use subtraction? Or do I use division to solve this problem? Your 1 minute starts now. You could be heard. You could be heard. 35 seconds to go. Identify the word that is attached to the number. That helps us also to solve the problem. Always identify the words that are attached to any number in a word problem. That helps solve the problem. Are you there? Are you almost there? Five seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and time is up. Time is up. Time. Now, let's see if you got it right. Let's see if you got it right. The answer to this problem is $8. What operation did we use? In this problem, we used the multiplication and operation of multiplication and subtraction. He has $20 bill. He started off with a $20 bill. He bought 6 gum for $2 each, which means that I have to take 6 times $2, which is $12. And then subtract that $12 from that $20, so that only left him with $8. Good job. You did it correct. Always remember, look for keywords that help us to identify if the problem involves 1 operation of math or 2 operation of math. Now, thank you.